No, I'm an Arizona Cardinal. I've done nothing but give my all to the Cardinals. I will continue to do that. So I'm not really too worried about my future as a Cardinal.
Scrubbing of the Instagram account on purpose, or how did that happen?
No, that was like I said, that was. If you're a kid my age, you're used to people take off all that. That's just a thing. And honestly, like I said, I took everything off besides one picture, so it had nothing to do with the Cardinals or anything like that.
Well, you know what? I exercise my prerogative to call BS on anyone, any place, anytime, anywhere, and I love Kyler Murray, but I don't buy it. Kids his age send messages by those gestures. Those gestures mean everything to kids that age, and it's the only thing it could have meant. He was upset with the Cardinals, and there is friction, there is tension. I know enough, and I've heard enough, that there's an issue, and it boils down to not just are the Cardinals ready to pay him, but how much, and there is a huge gap that can now exist between what a young franchise quarterback wants and what that team is willing to pay. And I know there is frustration and there is downright anger about the perception that the Cardinals are being cheap in their approach to Kyler Murray. So there is something there. And I don't expect him to come out and say it. First of all, Kyler Murray seems like a guy who is very quiet, reluctant, and shy. And I was exactly that way when I was his age. So I can understand why he wouldn't want to talk about any of it. And now he was forced into a position where he had to talk about it. And sometimes you have to not tell the truth for strategic reasons. This is not a situation where you're bearing false witness and you're going to burn in hell, because the last thing he's going to do is stand there and say, Arizona doesn't value me, and if they don't pay me, they're going to have a problem, and I'm going to be gone. There are certain settings where you can't say that to the world because it's not good for anybody if you say it. So, Charean, my big takeaway from that doesn't change anything that I think, and I still think that one of these days between now and the draft, we could be talking for the full hour about what impact Kyler Murray will have on his new team and what the Cardinals will be doing at quarterback moving forward.
Well, Eric Burkhart, just look at the facts. Eric Burkhart, his agent, issued that lengthy statement about Kyler needs to be paid and his value to the Cardinals and all of that sort of stuff and looking for that long-term deal. Number two, Kyler had plenty of time between the time of scrubbing his accounts, knowing what happened on Twitter and everywhere else with people talking about it and speculating about his future. He had an opportunity for weeks to respond, to say, guys, I'm just a kid. This is what we do. It means nothing. Don't read anything into it. He didn't do that. So he obviously had intentions, and there was meaning when he scrubbed his account. And number three, Eric Burkhart came back in recent days and said, appeared to question what the Cardinals are doing this offseason, not helping their quarterback. He did that after the Davante Adams trade. So put all that together, and yes, what Kyler Murray said today is absolutely meaningless, Mike. He wants his contract. He wants to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And the Cardinals at this point, I guess, don't believe that. Now, I know they've said it takes a long time to put these contracts together, and it does. But I'll say this, Mike, you have to have concerns about how he has played at the end of 2020 and at the end of 2021. And it just seems like some of those hits have taken their toll on Kyler Murray at the end of seasons. Can he play an entire season and be healthy and lead your team to where you need to go? I think that's still a question.
Well, and that would be why the Cardinals don't want to give him the kind of money that he's looking for. Eric Burkhart's position, if you look at his Twitter page, it would be clear that these quarterbacks are worth more and more money, and the market has changed dramatically. The Aaron Rodgers deal, even though it's not a true long-term contract, it's got a new money average of $61.9 million. So that takes the 45 from Patrick Mahomes and pushes it up dramatically. Then you've got the Deshaun Watson deal. 5 years fully guaranteed at $46 million a year, with everything he's got hovering over him, and the fact that the Browns had to give up multiple first-round and multiple second-round picks to get him. If you're Kyler Murray and if you're Eric Burkhart, you're feeling pretty good about what you eventually get. And if you're not going to get it from the Cardinals, you're going to get it from someone else. This is the ramification of the NFL, where you have teams out there that will say, yes, we will give significant trade assets for Kyler Murray. Yes, we will pay more money to Kyler Murray than you will. And the only question is whether or not the Cardinals fall in that Chiefs, Packers, Seahawks camp where they say, fine, if you want him, you got him. You pay him, and you give us all that stuff. So this isn't over. Not by a long shot. And Kyler Murray was in a position today, it looks like he was at some event. He got microphones in his face. He was in a must-lie situation. I don't fault him for that because he's not going to come out and say what's really going on. You can't. It's not good for anybody for him to come out and say, I'm really pissed off that the Cardinals haven't made me a fair offer. I'm really pissed off that we're this far along in the offseason and I haven't gotten my reward. And they're apparently going to make me go another year before I get what I've already earned when all these other guys are getting paid and all these other guys are getting traded if they're not happy. Well, I'm not getting paid and I'm not happy, so why don't I get traded? He's not going to come out and say that. Doesn't mean he's not thinking it,
right.
And it doesn't mean it's not what's going on behind the scenes.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.